Wake up, gamers, cause you're listening to Big Think Dimension with KZ Excellent,
I'm optimistic about things.
Dan and Bob Video Games,
You see that mountain? You can fuck another man on that mountain.
and Mr. Feel
Lords of Shadow is a bad game.
here on GigaBoots.
Imagine you bought a cartridge for a game for $300, and when you tilted it, right out of the box, freshly shipped to you, it sounded like a loose screw was inside.
Why does this keep happening to you?
This is actually by design. Nothing's broken on the thing. The guys just designed it in a way where it sounds like that.
It's just designed to be alarming.
Yeah. It's to keep you on edge, really match up with the 90s edgy advertising. The device I'm talking about is the Mega SD. I'm still setting it up. It literally arrived right before we started doing podcasts. Yeah, the Megazd. It lets me play Sega CD games on my Genesis without the need of a Sega CD. I have a Sega CD. Problem, they're huge and they need a second fucking power brick. So glad they made this. Hoping to try it out soon. With any luck, it'll be next Friday's live stream. So there you go. I put what we're doing in the next week at the beginning of this episode.
Weird.
Oh, good take.
It'll no
Fast
longer
tracking it.
it'll no longer be August,
We'll finally escape.
But Bob, what if Gex Timber sneaks up on us?
Don't fucking assault with Gex Timber like that.
Gex is
Do
always
it.
this
I
rat.
think you're too weak to play Gex.
We survived Banjo. We can survive Gex.
Yeah, it's fine.
I don't know.
The question is, will the Sega the Philips CDI the 3DO I order off of fucking eBay survive a single playthrough of Gex?
Oh God,
No.
the first?
Yeah.
Oh no.
What?
Did that never get ported to anything?
I don't think it did. I can look it
Got
up.
ported to PlayStation.
Okay.
I love the PS PlayStation. My favorite fucking games console.
It's on PS Now.
No. There's no way they would ever do that.
No, you're right.
You're allotting cloud resources for what?
I think Crystal Dynamics still owns Gex, which means Square Enix owns Gex. He
Yeah.
can show up in Kingdom Hearts.
I'm excited.
Not only that, but anyone out there can make a pitch for a Gex game, and
Oh,
Square will
man.
hear it out.
No,
Oh,
Kingdom
man.
Hearts 3 already had his Gex reference when he fell into the TV in the Toy Story world.
Yeah, true.
Guys, we need to do an armchair devs and then pitch that to Square Enix for real.
Oh God, I don't. Okay,
We do an Armchair Devs Gex and then just mail it to them. Just send them that file.
Fine, I'll host it just so I can say I'm KZ Gexcellent.
damn it. But yeah, it looks like it did come out on
That
PlayStation
Bob
7.
really knows his Gex. He yells its tail time regularly.
See, Bob says it's tail time. I always reference the part of the trailer where he says "clock says party time." I don't even know if he says that in the game.
I'm pretty sure it's in there. He had to say a lot of things repeatedly.
That's how you characterize back then. You have your character yell a thing. Yeah, it turns out that's on the PS1 and Sega Saturn. So I guess when our PSIO gets back, we can technically play Gex.
Yay!
It still fucking drives me insane that Gex 2 is called Gex 3D. Gex 3 is called Gex 3.
Yeah, this was a mistake. Well, to be fair, Gex 2 is called Gex Enter the Gecko. And as far as I could tell, it doesn't say 3D on the cover. Okay, it says here on Wikipedia, also known as Gex 3D Enter the Gecko. Or on the N64 as Gex 64 Enter the Gecko. This is amazing. In 2011, it was added to the PlayStation Network. Man, what a fucking waste of... Well, whatever. It's got to be better than Bubsy 3D.
It was Gex 3D in Europe.
Oh, okay. That explains it, because I'm staring at the North American box art, and I'm like, But yeah, I personally haven't played anything in the last week. Bob, take the floor.
Sure, yeah. I played a little bit of Control, the new game from Remedy, the guys who make Max Payne, Alan Wake, Quantum Break. Yeah,
Quantum Break's a great game because it has a TV show in it.
and that might be their worst game.
It has the guy it has the star of The Dark Knight Rises in it.
Oh, I was going to say it has Iceman from the first 3 X-Men movies.
Right, that's what I knew him as.
No, I'm talking about Iden Gillen.
Is he also in there?
So how's Control?
Control is pretty fun, actually. The whole thing almost plays out like a psychological thriller, but then it's also just a crazy third-person action game. So there's all this creepy stuff like you'd see in a Silent Hill or something, but then you're just like, yeah, no, I can run around, jump, and shoot them really fast with my pistol that has infinite ammo that auto reloads.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a really crazy game. You get psychic powers, so you can throw objects at enemies. The environment literally morphs around you. And it has a structure that is a little bit more exploration based. Like, people compare it to a Metroidvania because you go back and forth through areas. There are warp points. A big thing is literally like going around, capturing control points, and then you use them as like teleporters between areas. And you can also rank up your guns and adjust ability points at them. I'm like, this is kind of crazy.
How's it running for you? Because I've heard like it has issues, at least on console.
On the PS4 Pro, it's been running fairly smoothly.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good.
I'm surprised that it does seem to target 60 and...
Really?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, I need to...
I did not realize. Huh.
Like, it seems to run pretty smoothly. I need to watch some of those Digital Foundry videos just to make sure that I'm not going crazy, but... It
might have been like base PS4 then, but I saw that, and I saw the Easy Allies review, and they showed footage of like a more hectic battle with things flying everywhere, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I've only done the first couple hours. It seems like things will get crazier and crazier, so I worry that could well cause that.
I saw some like 15, 20 FPS.
Oof.
Like,
it does
pitching, but I'm hoping with the Pro, it's able to like iron it out to make it, playable the whole way.
It weirdly hitches when you pause and unpause the game. Like, it'll literally freeze for a few seconds and then be laggy for like 10 seconds or so, and then it clears up. It's strange.
Yeah, I heard about that.
It's a really interesting game, though. I'm very excited to play more of it if I get the chance, but we have Astral Chain coming out, so I don't know if I will get the chance to. I made it like probably 3 hours in, I think. Maybe less. You mainly use a weapon called the service weapon, and it's this handgun that transforms into other forms. So it started as a handgun, and I just unlocked the ability to turn into like this shotgun style thing. But the weird thing is, it doesn't seem like you can change that on the fly. It seems like you need to open a menu to change that. So I'm like,
no.
Surely this will change eventually, because you unlock other abilities, like you can unlock different upgrade slots for the guns. I was like, hopefully there's some way to
it's just like
switch.
It's just like Metroid. In Metroid, you have to go in and choose the wave beam.
Ooh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I found like a clip of an example of some of the performance hitching in it. That said, it did look really appealing to me.
Yeah, the style is very interesting. Like, I don't see stuff like this very often.
Yeah, that's running like Dookie.
Yeah,
that clip you posted.
Wow.
Yeah, but like, I really like their games. Honestly, I've never played Alan Wake, but I feel like I should.
Right.
Alan Wake's pretty good.
That's my understanding. That it was like people consider.
And they made like a weird interquel.
Yes.
It's explicitly not Alan Wake 2. It was supposed to lead into Alan Wake 2, and it was really cheap.
Yeah, it was a downloadable game.
This actually doesn't have a cover system or anything either. I was kind of surprised. You have a crouch button, but you don't like lock the cover or anything like that. It seems to way more encourage you just be running around, shooting them like that, and trying to get close to the enemies. Use your melee attack, because you have like this crazy melee where she like pushes her hand out and then everything in front of her explodes.
She does finger guns and they explode. Huh. Yeah, no, this looks really good. I'm really excited to try it. Hopefully I get to soon. Astral Chain's coming out. And for those who don't know, we plan to have a spoiler cast up for that as soon as possible. As soon as reasonably possible.
I actually booted up Control. It was like, oh man, this input lag is awful. And then I turned into game mode and was like, oh god.
Damn it, Bob, don't tell them. Don't tell them we have that
keep
problem.
Doing that. You have to check every time now.
Look,
yeah. I guess you're going to have to... I guess you're gonna have to redo all those button to pixels.
Oh, I'm gonna kill you. I'm gonna kill you with my hands, Feel.
But yeah, it was seconds into the game. I didn't like get into it and be like, yeah, this is bad. I was like, okay, this has to have this on.
But yeah, the problem over here is that we can't get a consistent setup for any of these systems because of how weird 4K is to record, and then spit out to the TV. It's really weird and annoying.
Yeah.
So
I'm just waiting. Bob's gonna pop in Watch Dogs 3 Legion. Be like, this feels bad. I must have game mode. Oh no.
see, Bob will put it in and he'll be like, "This is fucking completely unplayable." Oh, game mode's on, or game mode's off. Turns game mode on. This is still really fucking bad.
Yeah, it will be an Ubisoft game. Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Raw.
But I guess that's all I got to say about Control. I'm like, definitely go try it. It's a super interesting game. Story's real weird.
If you don't have a Switch, I feel like it's the coolest game to come out either this week or next, probably.
Right?
Yes.
Though we did pick up Metal Wolf Chaos, and we also picked up that Mana collection, but I haven't had any time this week to even fucking look at 1 second of those.
Yeah. I played Mission 1 of Metal Wolf Chaos, so I have basically nothing to say about
That's
it.
infinitely more than me.
Yeah.
Let's party.
Let's party!
Yeah.
Did anyone else pick up either of those?
I did not.
Okay. Gonna look into those in time for next week. What else did you play, Bob?
The other game I played was Minoria.
Minoria?
I also played
Minoria.
that.
Minoria?
My Minoria. Got it.
Memories.
Isn't that the thing for Hanukkah?
Yes.
Minimum Oreo. You see, it's like a thin Oreo, but it's even smaller.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. What's up with that game? Who made it? Why do I give a shit?
This game's made by Bomb Service. They made Momodora. And
Reverie of Under the Moonlight, I think that one is, because there was more before that they didn't make.
no, they made all those.
Oh, did they? Because it isn't under their developer thing on Steam.
They only sold one of them. The other was for free. But even 3 is made by them. So they've been working on that series for a while. So
So is this like Momodora?
this is basically a sequel to that. Basically, it's just very similar stylistically, but it's them trying some new
Yeah,
stuff.
they were
with new
working on a
engine
new
and stuff.
Momodora but it wasn't working out.
Oh, really?
Because I remember, like, 2017, they were posting, like, really rough-looking 3D concepts of a character that looked very similar to the character in Reverie Under the Moonlight, like, jumping around and shooting the bow.
Yeah, maybe that's still going to come eventually.
And this is their...
I think it got canned and became this.
So what is this game?
Bad.
A Metroidvania style game.
Oh no!
Okay. A bad Metroidvania. You're blowing my mind.
I would say that's worse than Momodora, but still better than 90% of them, at least from what I've
I
played.
wouldn't. Once I found 4 different doors that were identical that all required different keys, I went, oh no.
Yeah, that's discouraging for sure.
And then how much did you play, Bob? Like, what was the last thing you did in the game?
There's a boss fight where it's not really a boss fight, but they lock you in a room. There's 2 large enemies that attack you.
I got a little ways past that.
And I got the extra sword that came after that,
Yeah.
which I found it interesting that they actually, some of the weapons do control differently. In Momodora, it was just,
Yeah, they
okay, you get
controlled
one
it.
pop.
It feels like like that one gives you like a higher jump.
Yeah, that one gives you almost a double jump because you can use it in air and get a little bit extra air, which is kind of a neat idea.
And then I hold the button a little bit too long and do the limited use charge move.
Yeah, that's a really bad idea. They had the charge move is limited use and it's super easy to activate because you only need to charge it for like not even a half a second.
I don't. The way they give it to you and then you immediately have to cut big chains holding things, and I thought that was like, oh, this is a progression power up and I can just do it. But no, you can just cut the chains with normal hits and you only get 3 of the charged hits.
Yeah, and then you can only restore them at the waypoints instead of something more reasonable.
Momodora was like superficially similar to Bloodborne. Like your checkpoints were bells and you crush your healing item the exact same way. And there's shortcuts that involve opening locked doors from the other side. This has a lot more Dark Souls elements, and every single one of them makes the game worse.
Like the counterattack stuff? Or something
Like
else?
the counterattack stuff, it has leveling now. You don't have like a build, but you level, and it seems to do something maybe.
There is a stat screen you can go look at, so I assume that just slowly buffs those up, just get more damage and whatnot.
I've been told that it doesn't matter. The numbers apparently mean nothing.
Weird.
He's like, you can grind forever and enemies will still two-shot you. That's another big problem. This game feels like stupidly difficult and not in like a good way.
Yeah, that does like really punish you harshly.
That room where 3 guys are shooting missiles at you, I'm like, this is the fucking Shrine of Amana again. It's the Shrine of Amana in 2D and I'm an hour into the game.
I didn't think it was that bad. I mean, it wasn't too hard to avoid them. Unlike Dark Souls.
There's just a lot of things about the game that drive me up a fucking wall. Like, the enemies do contact damage and your weapon swings move you forward.
Yeah, it's
So I end up taking damage constantly because my hitbox touched theirs, half my health is gone. Even though they were in the stun state from my attack.
Yeah, I feel like Momodora was one of the 2D games that actually didn't do that sort of thing. Like, it literally, they'd only do damage if they were attacking.
I booted Momodora back up and played a bunch of it. It feels a million times better than this game. It also looks better, has better music, has more variety in the enemy design, even in the first area, has better bosses, gives you a more interesting core skill set.
Right. They instead of having a separate button for projectiles like in Momodora, because in Momodora you just have the R1 button, you can shoot the arrows anytime, and then you have your melee button, and then a separate button to heal. Now you need to switch between, like, you have one special use button. You switch it between doing healing.
And they're Dark Souls now.
Yeah, healing.
They're limited use like the spells in Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's strange.
It's just, the big thing is, like, it's very obvious this developer did not have a good time making a game in 3D. Because what I immediately noticed was, like, oh, the enemies put off like warning shockwaves because you didn't know how to make them telegraph with this new visual style.
Yeah, I feel like the way the characters are rendered is probably like the proportions to them aren't ideal either. Like, it's bizarre and it feels like you're too big for the areas.
Those tiny enemies in the second area where they have the long red sword have like twice your attack reach.
Yeah, no, the whole thing is...
it's a lot of fun to smack them once and then roll out of the way because they aren't hit stunned long enough for you to even do the combo.
Yeah, there's a lot of learning. Okay, I can't take them out in one shot. I don't have to get like 2 hits in, roll back, and then let them hit, and then attack them. You can... Like, eventually I got it down to, like, okay, if I jump in with a hit, I can then do a combo right after that and kill them. With pretty high efficiency.
And every big enemy sucks. It sucks to be like, roll through them. Oh, you didn't do it exactly perfectly. Half your health. Contact damage.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell where they want the hitbox to be.
Where they are, because the hitboxes don't feel good. Also, this is a very, very minor complaint. Very, very minor in the grand scheme of things. Dodge rolling repeatedly is faster than running.
Yes.
And if you dodge roll repeatedly, it looks like she's running on all fours like a dog.
It is kind of funny, yeah.
So hearing the whole they don't telegraph very well and things like that, I'm like, is this Mighty Number 9? Is it that where
it's not that tier for telegraphing? I don't think, because that is like really bad.
I mean, they telegraph. It's just an inorganic telegraph. They like pop with like a white circle like opens up off them, and that's like, oh, they're going to attack now.
Gotcha.
Have you been trying to get the perfect kills on the bosses so you get the extra items?
No, I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I was saying Momodora, so I tried it here just to check. I think that's making me a little OP. So that's helping me.
Oh, do they give you like bonuses?
Yeah, they give you extra items. Like literal, you get from the first boss, perfecting her gave me a thing that add an ice element to my attack, so I'd then do an extra set of damage, basically. So it was almost like a second hit for each hit.
I think it's so stupid. Like, you're really good. Take something to make the game easier. The first area, I was like, this doesn't feel real good. If this feels worse, I think, because I hadn't booted up the old one to compare yet. It's like, this feels worse. It certainly looks worse. And then I beat the first boss in a giant Dark Souls-esque thing that says, "Witch," I think it says, "Witch banished." And I went, oh no. Like, I don't even have the game uninstalled anymore. I got a little ways into that third area past the two big guys, and I'm like, nothing even like set me off. I'm just like, I don't want to play this anymore. Because this was after I had booted up Momodora, and I'm like, Momodora feels so much better.
I'm hoping this is like a stepping stone for them, and they figure out how to do this sort of game in 3D, or just to move back to doing 2D, because...
Yeah, I don't know why they moved back to doing 3D. The Momodora Alpha was in full 3D. It was a full 3D game.
Yeah, I have no idea. Maybe they just are concerned that doing 2D takes too long or something. I have no clue, though.
And this is another minor thing, but it's just like Momodora had a much like richer color palette, and it had a more interesting main character design.
I wouldn't consider that minor.
And like, it was interesting. Okay, you're playing as a character that basically looks like a white mage from Final Fantasy, and your weapon is a leaf. And you can go into the menu and read the description of the leaf, and like, oh, this is a leaf from this special tree that's as hard as stone. I'm like, oh, that's cool. And then in this, you're just a nun with a sword, and I'm like, that feels like a step down.
Yeah, I think they do some interesting flourishes, like when you stand still, like butterflies come out of her and stuff, and I'm like, that's kind of neat. And she has the hollow crown above her head all the time, so there's a little bit of intrigue there.
If I go back, it's gonna be because the princess that you save looks a lot like the big boss from Momodora, like the one that's in all the promotional material and stuff.
She does. It's almost like, okay, is this intentional, or is this just a...
If I go back, it will be to see if that's intentional. Because you can read her bio, and it even says that those things on her head aren't horns, they're branches, and that's what that boss in Momodora had.
Right. One thing that's keeping me like, okay, maybe it'll do something interesting, is seeing that there are alternate weapons like that sword that plays differently. I'm like, okay, well, that's kind of exciting to see what they can do on this angle.
You also get like a red version of it if you have a save of Momodora.
Huh. That's weird. I guess I had it uninstalled.
You know the library? You see that red thing up above that you can't reach in the library?
Yeah.
That's what that is. If you get up there with the sword, it's a red version of the sword, has the exact same movesets.
Okay. That's neat. I got a black version of the first weapon for beating the second boss. Perfect. I was like, okay. And that gave me 1.25% more damage, so I was like, it's a pretty good buff. Jeez.
Why would they give you such big upgrades for perfecting the bosses? Something you have to know about in advance.
So that way you keep retrying the boss until you get good enough to do it.
Right. But you don't... there's no advance warning.
That's so weird. Another thing is in Momodora, if you just die, I feel like you almost immediately respawn at the checkpoint. Like it's Bloodborne-esque, where you get like a loading screen maybe if your system needs to load, and then you pop back up.
Mm-hmm.
In this, it's like an outright no reload, and you lose all the items you picked up.
I thought that you saw lots of items in Momodora, but it's been a while.
I don't think you did. I think it was just like a Dark Souls thing, where if you got like a key or something, you held on to the key. But I'm very disappointed. It's a step down in basically every way.
I'm hoping to play more and maybe understand a bit more of where they're coming from. Yeah.
So I guess we'll talk about that's the last game you played, right?
Yeah, that's it for what I got.
Okay. We'll talk about whatever Feels played that isn't that. Feel, what you've been playing?
I played Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links because KZ trapped me in hell.
Oh, god damn it.
And I'm just grinding cards and playing that game so I can defeat my enemies.
in a
Nothing.
bloody video in which I will announce everything I do as I play like an anime character and you turn to dust.
Yeah. But I played those two things. I was like, okay, I'll play Minoria before the podcast. I'm sure it'll be great because Momodora is like a 9 out of 10 for me. And I expected like at least an 8 out of 10, not somewhere around a 5. But that's all from me.
What have you been playing over the last week?
I finished up playing Fire Emblem Three Houses. I finished the route that I was on. I thoroughly enjoyed it from front to back. And there's not much to say about it because it'd be spoilers.
Okay.
I think it's fantastic. I need to sit on it more, but it might be like my second favorite game I played this year because it was incredibly consistent throughout, which is hard when your playtime is that long because it says like 70 plus hours.
I mean, that's good, man.
Mm-hmm. I might do another route with New Game Plus, given that I can speed through it, as I'll be able to carry over a bunch of stuff. But that's all I played this week, aside from getting more cards in Yu-Gi-Oh! There's not much to say about that, though.
It's just Yu-Gi-Oh! That's all it is. Nothing to see here. No crippling addictions.
I wouldn't even say it's that much of a crippling addiction. I'm not putting any money into it, and I'm not playing it for an absurd amount of time.
I was gonna say, if that first criteria is all you need, then hell, I'm not addicted to Smash Brothers.
I'm not addicted to Smash Brothers. I'm not playing it tonight, so I clearly must not.
That's good for you. It's good that you can prioritize things in a rational manner. Okay, well, that was a short what we've been playing sequence. I'm kind of surprised. I guess that's what happens when I don't get a second of fucking time to do anything. And I don't have to review a bunch of Disney movies. Speaking of which, someone entered under my name in the news. What was it? Brief review of The Little Mermaid 2?
Yes, I make the show notes now because basically when I'm done editing the podcast and I'm putting everything together and sending you the zip of the stuff, I'm like, all right, let me just make the notes.
Actually, no, it says a detailed review. Oh, geez.
Get cracking.
Also, the fact that it has labeled you in our doc Anonymous Nyan Cat.
Is that me?
I think that's you. You're that or the chinchilla.
Weird. Anyways,
I apparently went this entire week not realizing I spelled detailed wrong.
Don't worry, I didn't.
Man, but do you know what isn't wrong?
What's
People
not
giving
wrong?
us money.
That was a better transition than Linus Tech Tips could ever pull off. Thank you, KZ, for the smooth transmission.
That guy's white.
He's really white, as it turns out. He's like, they must have an extra blankness, extra paleness of white in Canada, because holy shit. The Podlords for this episode of the Big Think Dimension are Danny Richardson, Notgak, E. Lee Broyles, Voxo, Humba Wumba, Corey Brown, Dank, Mormons, Red Blaze 27, Jucifer 2.8 Final Chapter Prologue,
Yeah.
Suzu Shiro, Maddie Mo, Heaven's Evidence. Oh my god, what the fuck? I'm gonna stop reading this. Zavix, and then he goes on to detail about certain appendages Zavik might had and the qualities thereof.
Oh no.
I'm not gonna read it. Emperor Zero, Ramicus, Luminous 777, Mitzi, Chris Fitzpatrick, and okay, I'll read that one. Hyper realistic Kazooie's Gamer Girl chicken flavored soup stock.
Fucking, we need to retire.
We're gonna raise the price on Podlords. Thank you very much to our Podlords.
$51. Can you imagine?
Why are none of us Podlords this month? The price went up $1. First bit of news: price on Podlords going up $1.
more value out of it.
Bob, I don't like any of the things you have to talk about this week.
That's fair.
I'm going to cast you into the abyss. You don't get to talk about any of these because I don't like this news. Fine. Go ahead and talk about your news.
Okay. Oni-Chanbara Origin gets a release date for Japan. It comes out on December 5th. They announced the artist for it's going to be the guy who did Bakano. So that's kind of neat. It explains the more anime style it's going for. And it's a retelling of the first two games, which those guys were
Raw.
way back and definitely when the series had zero money. So it probably makes sense to go do this.
It's still super weird to me that Katsumi Inami is doing the art.
Yeah, that's fair. He also did Durarara, right?
And Bacano, and I think they're the one doing the art on the new Star Ocean ports.
Really?
I'm pretty sure.
That's bizarre. I'm like, they don't like that looks like the most far removed from any of these.
Yeah, it's really far removed. Like, part of why this is so weird to me is I would not, like, looking at the things they draw, I don't think honkers.
Well, this isn't Senran Kagura. It's Oni-Chanbara, a respected
it's just made by
series.
the exact same developers.
It's a very respectable series in comparison. Isn't that right, Bob?
At least a little bit, strangely enough. I mean, it typically has like one decent character and one slutty looking character. Like there's a balance.
It's like the light side and the dark side of the Force.
But yeah, that's all I got for that one. Let's see. Warriors Orochi 4 Ultimate is coming to PS4 and Switch in December.
Is this game gonna be good?
Warriors Orochi 4 was okay. It didn't have as like some of the cool crossover characters I would have liked from earlier point in the series.
Good because I don't. The last Warriors game I played was Pirate Warriors 3.
I just want a good Dynasty Warriors, you guys.
Yeah.
Never ever.
It's going open world.
Never ever, Dan.
They could have 32 core processors in the next systems and they still wouldn't be able to run these fucking games right.
They're too busy making games for everyone else in the entire industry.
I think that we're due for a new Dynasty Warriors. I think it's totally possible after this when next gen starts, because there's still a big, like a large group of people who want Dynasty Warriors, and that's a big franchise in Japan. Yeah. This one is probably coming to the Xbox as well. It's just they never release them in Xbox in Japan, so we don't have a release date for that.
Gotcha.
But it's been announced PS4, Switch, and PC. It's adding Joan of Arc, who's from the Bladestorm series. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of neat.
The fuck is Bladestorm?
Oh, you don't know Bladestorm? Let me tell you, there's some fucking franchises that you're intimately aware of being a PlayStation 3 owner at launch.
Right.
Oh, okay. It's a game only psychotics play.
I can't argue with you, but yeah.
But it was kind of a Dynasty Warriors game that had a lot more strategic elements, like could actually command your army and stuff like that. It was kind of neat.
Yeah, it's like they did a fusion between Kessen and some other game people haven't played.
So it had one version and then an updated expansion / remaster.
Yeah, that's what happened with Bladestorm.
And
who else?
And then a brand new character called Gaia. She seems to fight with giant robotic hands that are flying around her. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, it might be neat, exciting. I'm hopeful. I enjoyed what I played of Warriors Orochi 4, and hey, if they make it run well, like on the X, it was already running pretty well. I'd love if they got the voice actors back and got that going again, but I don't think that'll ever happen again.
Do you ever think we're going to get Phil on stage to just be like, the Xbox 2 is so powerful, it can run Dynasty Warriors well?
Look, Phantasy Star 2 showed up on the Xbox stage. Phil could say anything. Literally anything.
I mean, Dynasty Warriors may not be popular, but it's probably more popular than PSO2 is in America right now.
He'll just be, it'll be Dragon Quest Heroes 3.
That would be fucking awesome. I would like that on a fucking next gen console. So it can run a lot.
They're probably going to make it. The first two sold well.
Yeah. And good. Anyway, Bob, I'm just going to not say anything until you move all the way past this next news story so you can talk to the other two about it.
Okay.
I'm incredibly excited for this next news story you have on your list.
I'm not, but I'm obligated to buy it, so something I do want.
I
comes
am
out
because
with
I'm
Capcom.
optimistic about things.
I fucking played all these games. What do I have to be optimistic about? That they changed them?
Before we get into that, Mega Man 0/ZX Legacy Collection is coming out. It has been fully announced.
Yeah.
It's coming out January 22nd, 2020, and it will be $30.
That's how much it's worth.
It's got 0, 1 through 4, and also ZX and ZX Advent.
DX Advent's pretty good.
I have to disagree with you. I feel like that's too much.
You think they should have put out
30
one game
worth.
early?
They put out that DS collection of the first 4 Zero games, and that was like $30.
Yeah,
Now
that
this
was
is in the future, and they've added 2 more games.
I'm glad it's only $30 because even though I only really like one game in that list, I have to buy it anyway so Capcom doesn't arbitrarily decide that this one series not doing well means that they shouldn't make a Battle Network or Legends collection.
Right.
Are you trying to say that every game Capcom makes is a test?
Yes.
Yes.
yeah. I at the same
Like
time, like, I
classic
don't want to
Capcom
support it because I don't want them to make a new Zero game because that's insane. That's absolutely psychotic.
So
I
this
think
is-
that's lower on their list.
Here's what you need to do, Bob. Take a book out of Psychopathic Ladies in a Relationship book. You know, take a page out of that book. Send them the signal that something about this collection has you pleased. And when they fuck up by making a new Zero game, don't buy it. Just be like, oh, you read my signals wrong. Stupid of you,
No, here's
Capcom.
Here's the thing. If they make a new Zero game, Inti Creates probably won't be making it.
I think they will be making it.
That would be the cheapest way. They're still making those games.
I'm assuming the reason that they have like the dual screen feature in the Mega Man Zero ZX Legacy Collection is because Inti's like working on it, and they did that for the Gunvolt games. I think like they had like experience.
They
in
had
that.
how to pop a DS game into a thing, make it work.
Yeah,
Barely.
This looks about as fully featured as the other ones. They have like a multiplayer race mode for this. They have filters that you're going to turn off. They've got the soundtracks, the art. At the very least, Capcom makes sure to make these collections like not bare bones.
This collection features my most feared Maverick, Super Eagle.
Dude, half that trailer features it, and it's fucking horrifying.
It really is.
I want to set the record straight on something here because I want to clear the air about Inti Creates. I can't speak for Dan and Bob, but I want Inti Creates to do better, not fail.
Yeah, you're really not bringing it. You just go, Inti Creates, it's bad, and then we move on every time it's mentioned.
In the future, when I dunk on Inti Creates, know that all they would have to do to get me to stop dunking on them, all they would have to do is improve their level design a little bit and fire whoever writes their games.
At this point, it's like, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me 25 times.
They're gonna
okay,
fool
you
me
can't
every
do
time.
It. You failed. You need to just stop at this point.
Like Blaster Master 03. I'll probably buy it because I'm a rube.
See,
Because
Feel
it'll be $10 instead of $40 like Dragon Marked for Death.
right, and Feel subscribes to the same school of thought as me. Of yeah, sure, I'll buy you some rope. Here you go.
But I want them to tie a beautiful knot, not hang themselves.
I'll let them do whatever the fuck they want because this is America, and even though they're not in America, I'm American.
Just realize you're making a cartoonish platforming game and don't include yet another sick little sister.
How will I be motivated to go on the adventure field? we gotta kill robot aids.
Robot 8 sounds pretty bad.
Yeah.
It also turns you into a demon.
I'm getting ill. Bob, move on.
Sure. Type Moon Studio BB is established by Type Moon, of course, with director
Oh, it's named?
Yeah, it's like a full new studio they're making. Kazuya.
Okay, the name BB makes me think they're going to be making something Fate related.
Oh yeah, I mean that's Type Moon.
I mean, they have other things, Bob.
Let's
They
not
should do that
pretend.
sometime.
Let's not pretend that they're going to make anything else. I don't have
That's
that sort of
true.
hope. But Kazuya Nino is going to hold or head up the studio. He's the series director of Dragon Quest Builders. And you were saying, what were the other things he's done, Phil?
He worked on A Realm Reborn. He wasn't like a director, but he was like in the trenches on that.
Etrian Odyssey.
Yeah, he directed the first Etrian Odyssey. He directed
Phoenix
one of the
Wright.
Trauma Centers.
Oh, wait, yeah, Trauma
Phoenix
Center.
Wright, I didn't know about.
No, it was Trauma Center. I
Trauma
mixed them
Center.
up.
So that's exciting. Those are all good games.
Yeah.
I want to see what they do with that. It'd be great if this were like using one of their other properties and not another Fate thing, but I'll take what I can get.
He's going to make an Etrian Odyssey game with Fate properties.
Make an entry on see with multi-blood characters. That's all I want.
Yeah, no.
I think it's more likely that that they're probably gonna make something because they named the studio BB, which is a character from the PSP Fate games.
Oh,
So I wonder if they might be like remastering those or maybe making something similar to those because the main character of those is super popular.
they just need
And
to
they haven't like been in anything since those.
just pull them out and extract her from the series of. That is the same series as the Fate Extra stuff, right? Where it's all inside a computer
Yeah, Fate
and
Extra
incredibly
is what I'm
dumb.
talking about.
Okay.
Well, it's in a moon supercomputer, and the villain of the first game has a Metal Gear Solid name,
It's very
where
cool.
his name is Twice H. Peaceman.
What? KZ,
Yeah.
do you have news that won't make me start rotting like a corpse?
Okay, so you remember 3 days ago when Phil insisted we should do an armchair devs for a Resident Evil side game because they're not making those anymore? Well,
yeah.
a new Resident Evil side game is going to be announced in a week or so for PS4, Xbox One, and PC.
I have psychic powers. Thank you for confirming that I'm an Esper.
You are an Esper. The teaser site's called Project Resistance, and it had a YouTube link, but it was like private, but people extracted the fucking thumbnails to see. It looks like it's a 4-player co-op multiplayer game.
It looks like Outbreak.
Yeah.
It looks like a new Outbreak in the RE engine.
Yeah, plus, what
Like
was
the
it?
models they showed look good.
The website it links to is like RE Outbreak. It now says okay when you go to reoutbreak.com or whatever. Which
That
is
isn't accurate. Someone said that it's been like that for a few years.
Oh, okay.
So it might not specifically be that, but this is a game that will be announced on September the 9th and will be playable at TGS. So there will be a lot.
I mean,
That's really cool.
if this is
Yeah.
the new Outbreak, it makes sense.
Yeah.
Valve is obviously never going to make Left 4 Dead 3, and Payday 2 needs some kind of competition in that, like, 4-player go through a scenario multiplayer style.
Yeah, honestly, they could even make a Resident Evil game that was styled, not to be overly ambitious here, but that was styled like a Destiny game where there were missions and your character had stats. I mean, there's a lot they could do with the 4-player multiplayer fucking Resident Evil, even if it's Left 4 Dead or closer to the original Outbreak or something crazy ambitious. I have a lot of hope for
Yeah.
this.
I wonder if those additional modes they patched into RE2 make that I never fucking played because they came out like a month after that game and I'd run through it like 6 times by then. But like the ones where you play as the 3 characters and it has like weird roguelike elements.
Yeah, it seems like
I
a beta
wonder if
for
that
this or
wasn't some-
something.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I got a little disappointed because I saw the news and it was announced as Project Resistance, and it looked vaguely like it could have been a new Resistance game. But then I read Capcom and I was like,
Oh.
So
Oh,
Bob and
wow.
I are excited to announce Armchair Devs Resistance.
No.
Yes.
It's got a gun, feels out.
And yes, I said yes because Phil said no.
I've never played one and I have no idea what it is. I'll just make it
Hey, that won't stop you.
I would like to note this is the second or third time Phil said this about a thing tonight. The other time that I can remember was Destiny. Next week, Phil's
No, I
gonna be like,
basically know what Destiny is.
feels like
I've just never seen it.
what the fuck is Call of Duty?
Okay, so finally, the thing that I was wrong about the dates from 4 episodes ago finally happened. The Yakuza press conference thing that was to reveal Shin Yakuza, now titled in Japan Yakuza 7, titled over here Yakuza Like a Dragon. Like a Dragon is just the English version of the series name, so it's like Resident Evil 7 Biohazard.
Yeah, I think this might be them moving towards rebranding the whole franchise because Yakuza sucks as a name.
Yeah, so this is the brand new title, the soft reboot, because it has the brand new.
We need to revisit the point. Bob losing it over here.
Well, how is Yakuza bad as a name? I like.
Because you're not a Yakuza in any of the games.
But your former Yakuza, and the games revolve all around the Yakuza subculture.
And you're in a clan.
Oh, well.
I never stole a car in Grand Theft Auto. They should change the name.
You know, he's getting normalized in my brain. It didn't really connect for me there.
No, see, the weird thing is I wasn't going to say anything because I don't care to make an argument. But the weird thing is when people listen to these podcasts later, they go, I can't believe all 4 of them think Yakuza is a fucking bad name. And that's how it works. Like, they're like, because we didn't punch a dude in the mouth, we clearly agree.
I don't know, maybe
with
I talked to too many Yakuza fans because this isn't a weird stance in that community.
Weird. That was almost the level of when Jeremy Parrish was like, nobody likes bowling. They just do it.
Yeah,
Bowling is raw.
Yeah,
I like bowling.
Jeremy Parrish literally in a review of a bowling game for the NES or Game Boy or something, he goes, this is when we need to confront the truth that nobody actually likes bowling. They just do it because their friends do it. And without that, there's no point in playing bowling. And I'm like,
Bowling is a lot of fun.
fuck you, man. If bowling wasn't over a toll bridge, I
Hard
would
to find time to go.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
Bowling's fine. We should do bowling if you guys are ever in town. Right after we go to
Weekly beating bowling.
That'd be hilarious, but they'd probably be upset about a camera being in the bowling alley.
right after Golden Corral.
Oh my god, the
epic
idea
day.
that we go and meet them and do a date of bowling in Golden Corral.
Please, no, I don't think my lower intestine can handle Golden Corral.
Don't worry, we'll build your tolerance.
Mostly I'm fucking scared because apparently when Dan goes into a Golden Corral, it becomes the hyperbolic food chamber and you don't get to leave for 3 hours.
That's because I go in usually with my parents. Waiters hate these 2 parents. They're like, no, really, get the fuck out. So tell me about Yakuza 7, the aptly named video game.
Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna list off. I'm gonna try and get through this, and then we can talk about it.
Okay.
There's a lot. There's a lot to unpack here. Number 1, it's a soft reboot because it's got the brand new protagonist Ichiban Kasuga.
Now I have things to say about that.
Now Ichiban loves Dragon Quest. He even says it in the trailer because Nagoshi and Sega got permission from the creator of Dragon Quest to mention it. Because of course they did. It's Yakuza. Ichiban considers fights in real life like fights in Dragon Quest, which in turn makes the combat turn-based. Yakuza is now a turn-based RPG. The game's coming out in January 16th, 2020 in Japan. Is launching sometime next year in the West. And Nagoshi said that it's a JRPG made by action game devs. They wanted to try something different as they've kind of done pretty much everything with their current gameplay style. But said they would happily change it back if people think it's terrible.
For one, am excited for Yakuza Command Mission.
I like that they put out an April Fool's video of, here's Yakuza if it was an RPG. That was just the gameplay of this. They just snuck it out there. And people were like, this is ridiculous. What do you mean that's your next game?
Yeah.
He straight up made tweets in response to the big backlash of this, where he said, thank you for your feedback. I feel your concerns about this. We were expecting some of this, but there has been quite a bit. He says, I do not intend to make a boring game.
I think it's psychotic to have this the next game line series game and the first game was the new protagonist. Like, that's insane.
I think this is kind of a good idea.
And then
because,
the thing, like, the series only just now got popular in the West, and now it's like, no.
I mean, it's been popular for like 3 years, and it's gotten like 6 games, but that have in that time.
In the grander scheme
but I
of
do
things,
understand the fact that it's like we're getting to that point where things are getting localized within the same year from Japan to the West, and now there's just such a complete shift in what
I kind of think that the people that the Western fans will like this more.
they're wrong.
Potentially.
I never see people talking about, oh, it's a fun beat 'em up. I see, here's the screenshot of the side mission.
Yeah.
So if that's the same, I don't really think it'll impact it very much.
Yeah, but at the same time, the thing I took pictures of in Shadow of the Colossus was me stabbing rocks. I don't think that's a 1-to-1 what I enjoyed versus what I posted on Twitter.
I feel like the change is something where it could make sense, where it's like you're going and doing side quests with people, and this could fit as an RPG, but it all comes down to if they can give the fights and the climactic battles that happen in this a similar impact, which I hope they can manage in a turn-based system.
There's a legitimately a huge stigma with people for doing turn-based combat.
Yeah.
Like that.
Oh, don't worry, they made it look like Persona 5, the one turn-based RPG you're apparently allowed to like.
That's even. There are plenty of people who still don't like Persona. Plenty.
Yeah.
Like the people that Yakuza appeals to are much more normal level of like, I want to play a game where I'm actually going around punching guys, not doing turn-based
This
stuff.
might be the strangest piece of news, I think, that has happened in a very long time.
Yeah.
Where for once, it's an action game going to turn-based and not a turn-based franchise going into action.
Yeah, no. After having the Sakura
it
Wars
is
thing
so
announced like
strange.
2 weeks ago,
Yeah, that is funny. And it's the same guy running both.
it's insane. I don't get it. I don't understand.
This dude is insane.
I mean, they've made a lot of weird, like the PSP ones were just a wrestling game, and and they did that zombie shooter. So if this doesn't perform, they'll just pop it back over and it'll be fine.
Yeah, at the same time, those weren't the mainline series, so the people kind of expected something weird from those.
I think it'll be fine. Even if this fails, they'll just pop it over and it'll recover instantly.
Those developers are really good at making shit fast and making shit with, reasonable budgets. So it's not like they're putting a shit ton of time and a shit ton of money into this and then it crashes and really puts them in a bad spot.
Yeah, but I kind of agree with Bob on this, where it could damage the brand in the West, because it's only relatively recently in the really long run of the series become popular. If this is seen as what they can expect from a normal entry, they may just get confused or be like, "Oh, I guess I don't like those games." I don't know.
I think that's partly why the West is not calling it 7, and they're just giving it.
And that's gonna get
giving
fucking
it a
weird.
very specific title. That way, it's like, oh, this is a cool way to reboot the series if it does well, or this is a good thing where this title specifically doesn't damage.
That's true, because the zombie one was not numbered; it was subtitled Dead Souls, and this one is subtitled Like a Dragon (Quest).
Right.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah, it's a title that works whether it succeeds or fails.
But then if the next one is 8, none of them are numbered again in the States, basically.
Oh, they'll just call it 7 over here.
Or Like a Dragon 2.
We'll be Dynasty Warriors.
But this does make sense for me, because like you read the Ichiban's backstory, and it's like he's a 2-bit thug who went into jail for 20 years when he was 20. But meanwhile, Kiryu had like 12 years of being a super king, and then went into jail for 10 years. So it's like that dude was a super god king. This Ichiban isn't as tough, so he has like a party and makes friends with people.
I mean, yeah,
I think it's a really clever way to differentiate the protagonists from each other.
Yeah, no, it's
in a fun way.
It's a neat idea. At the end of the day, action game fans aren't all RPG fans, so this is gonna alienate some people. Probably way fewer in Japan.
Right. Man,
I am interested, but I am not convinced of the gameplay yet. I need to see it. I need to see a lot more of it.
I'm not sure how much the action game thing really is even a thing here, because we went from Yakuza 0, the best game in the series in terms of action gameplay, to Yakuza 6, which is almost at the bottom. And that game was very well received here. Maybe better than 0.
What's your point? I'm not sure
My
what
point
your
is
point
that,
was
like,
there.
My point is that, like, maybe people don't care about the gameplay so much since a really bad action game was received maybe even better than a really good one.
people just can't tell the difference.
Yeah, no, they can't tell the difference. If you turned Assassin's
Yeah.
Creed into a turn-based RPG, they would fucking notice.
But yeah, it's people are, even if they notice the difference, they'll go, whatever. Yakuza just had a major level up in visual fidelity and like transitions into combat and stuff like that when they jumped from what was running Yakuza 0 to 6 and Kiwami 2.
Yeah, I find it funny that they said something like, we've really done everything we can with the action game sort of genre. It's like, you haven't like just made a legitimately really good one yet. But, you know, whatever.
Be nice, Bob. That's also the direction I would have wanted them to go, but this is fine.
I'm thinking that they are also thinking that since Judgment did well in the West, that maybe Judgment just retains that action gameplay, so that the Yakuza fans that are strictly there for the combat will just go to that game. I haven't played Judgment, so I can't say how much better or worse it is than the recent Yakuza releases.
It's better than 6, but worse than Kiwami 2 in terms of combat.
So, Bob, are you
Yeah, I was
interested?
thinking that would
Are
be a
you getting
thing.
this game?
No, but I'm probably not. It seems like it would be a good onboarding point because it's a brand new protagonist and stuff. But I'm like, I don't have any confidence in them making a good turn-based RPG, and I know I don't have enough time for like a full featured one either. So
I'm curious if it'll be notably longer than the previous games.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, that's kind of what's expected from this genre, but who knows?
But I mean, even a Yakuza game is normally like 20, 25 hours normally if you do like a decent amount of the side content. And that seems about like a JRPG nowadays.
I'll probably wait for like reviews and general reception before I think about jumping on it. Maybe it focusing more on the RPG will allow them to maybe work to integrating the side stories more.
Maybe there will be less padding because every Yakuza game has the weird padding arc that doesn't need to be in the game and solely exists to pad out the story.
I think we're all forgetting the very important part of the trailer where a guy eats some bread and the bread
That was incredible.
Yes, that's impressive. Bread technology.
Wasn't that just? It's just a pre-rendered cutscene.
Feels like, no, don't be impressed. Don't be impressed.
Usually Yakuza does in-game, or usually Yakuza does in-game cutscenes, like literally rendered in-game, but just in
Yeah. It's in engine.
in engine.
Yeah.
So that's the
the
fully
important thing.
That's the fully like
Is-
pre-done animation, but it still looks really nice.
Is
wanna see
Bread
this.
Tech the new character sleeping under covers?
They're very good video game tech things. Capes, bread, Triple H's hair. There's a lot of different things.
Sleeping under the
show
covers
you.
is the big one. Deadly Premonition, characters sleep under the covers. Any David Cage game, they don't. Deadly Premonition officially more advanced than a David Cage game.
Oh my god.
Once again, proving things with facts, logic, and science.
I feel like I'm listening to Mike Stoklasa talk about Independence Day, where he's like, that doesn't make sense. In Star Trek, they would have done it like this.
Darn.
In Deadly Premonition, they put in the hum of fluorescent lights because the development team spent weeks going around America and staying in shitty motels.
The
And that bread
experience.
tech's really good.
Holy shit, that bread looks amazing.
Yes.
Just the... God!
Damn.
I know it's like a Japanese bread, but it just looks like a hot dog bun to me, and I'm like, that must be gross.
Right?
They threw it at his head.
You gotta keep in mind our American bread is like really bland cake. That's not
Yeah, I
how
know.
bread tastes.
Yeah, I know.
It's depressing. KZ, what other news do you got?
All right. So at the GameStop Managers Show that they do to like drum up excitement for, I guess,
Go on.
stocks and stuff. I guess.
So that way they can
that
leak
they
news.
revealed they announced Aladdin and the Lion King are being in like a double pack remaster. This is coming to the Switch, Xbox, and PS4 in the fall. It is containing the Virgin Interactive games. So it's predominantly the Genesis versions alongside the SNES, Game Boy, and Super Game Boy versions. Pretty much every version of these games except Capcom's Super Nintendo Aladdin game, which is unfortunate.
The good one.
Yes. Supports 1080p, rewind and fast forward, as well as watch mode, where the game just is automated and is playing itself out, and then you can just press a button to jump in from that point.
So use that on the second level of the Lion King game. Got it.
Yep.
You just
whatever the
just do that
stampede was.
until level 3 starts then, because the hard part of that, the really rough part, I feel like, is just the end and figuring out what you're doing with that puzzle. And that includes the original soundtracks, and something I forgot to include here, for Aladdin, they're including the trade show demo of that game.
That is actually really cool. I wish more collections would start doing stuff like that.
Yeah,
That's
like,
a
This
really
is
cool feature.
surprisingly well-featured collection for these games.
Yeah,
I think this is another one done by.
it's got to involve Safaldi's group, the
Yeah.
digital whatever entertainment, digital
Digital Extremes?
digital clips or whatever.
digital clips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Digital Clips.
So I'm sure that it will have a ton of great museum stuff and be a good like preservation element, but it will
And have 9 frames of input.
have a horrible input lag. and
The
not be
emulation
worth
will
playing.
be perfect.
I suspect all these games are actually bad. I haven't gone back to them since
Yeah.
like 8. I was 8 or something, so I'm sure.
I played Aladdin on Genesis recently, like recently as in the last 5 years. That one's not great.
They're no Mickey Mania.
I played the Lion King one last year I put it on my SNES Classic, and that game holds up. It's just hard. But everything else around it, like, runs perfectly fine, and it doesn't feel like it's trying to fuck you the entire time. It's just some of the challenges fucked up at the very beginning because they were told, no, make level 2 a little bit harder.
All I remember is the second level being like a maze-like series of being launched through trees because it's the I just can't wait to be king musical number.
You have to roar at monkeys, and then you jump on like a rhino's head. It launches you up, and the monkeys throw you around. And certain monkeys can change direction by roaring at them. So you just gotta go through that. And there's a hard, like, platforming segment in that. But aside from that, it's perfectly fine. It's not... I can't say much about the Aladdin game. I've played very little of it. It didn't appeal to me. And that Lion King game definitely isn't the Traveler's Tales rendition of Toy Story.
When are those?
Where shit.
Come on. Come on, Frank Cifaldi.
No. No.
Yes, actually.
No.
Yes,
Do
you
it.
gotta
Do it. Do it just so Dan can't escape it.
I was trapped in a house with that Toy Story game and Donkey Kong Country 3 and a bunch of
That's a
other
good
bad
game.
games. And
Don't fucking compare Toy Story to Donkey Kong Country 3. Donkey Kong Country 3 is a fine game. It has 1 billion levels. It controls fine. It just isn't quite as good as Donkey Kong
It
Country
just has
2.
Kiddy Kong, which I know is a major bad thing to that game.
he's a disgusting mutoid and he's on screen constantly.
I'm going to throw something out here. The next Donkey Kong Country game, since every single big Kong character is terrible, just use K. Rool.
No.
That'd be
Not allowed.
That'd be something.
That
Not
would be
allowed.
that would be hilarious.
No, the next big Kong just needs to be built like a fucking JoJo's character and strut
What,
like one
chunky?
too.
No, it's just Funky Kong.
No, a JoJo's character, not a Golden Corral commercial. Jesus Christ.
K. Rool's a JoJo's character. His pose is pointing exactly like one.
Oh my god.
He's really good in the cartoon.
Plus, he lives on Donkey Kong's floor now.
He does. Anyway, that's all of my news.
Okay, let's we got approximately 3 hours of news from me. Let's get through this.
A lean 3 hours.
Here's the most important news. John St. John, voice of Duke Nukem, is now an ordained minister, so you can be married by Duke Nukem.
Wow.
And he's also on this podcast.
I'm very excited. I'm very, very excited for people to post their videos of getting married by him.
I assume he just
He
lived in
literally
Vegas.
tweeted, yes, you can be married by Duke Nukem was his tweet.
Yep. Tosh was hype.
But yeah, is he just in Vegas running like one of those quick marriage places?
No, he's just an officiant, so he's in California.
I'm gonna do the yacht club stuff last because they had their own Nintendo Direct-esque thing.
Okay. Did it also involve bad JoJo's jokes like the limited run games version of
No, I didn't watch.
Direct?
I didn't watch it. I hope not. So this is a minor thing. NBA 2K20 put out their My Team trailer, and it is the most evil thing I have ever seen. If you have not seen this trailer, it starts with 5 players walking onto a court. Then their souls are trapped in trading cards floating above their heads. And then the trading cards like come together and go into a pack of 20 loot boxes. Because you can't just buy one. That won't give you anything. You have to buy at least 20. Then the loot boxes morph into a pachinko machine. And then the pachinko machine morphs into a slot machine. And then the slot machine morphs into a roulette wheel.
I wish Phil were making this up, but I know he's not because I had to watch it because I didn't believe him.
Oh.
Fuck you.
I thought he was
Yeah, what you thought I was making this up?
Not
Yes,
fully.
why would they turn it into 5 different gambling machines?
Because they don't give a fuck.
I mean,
The theme of like the last 18 months has been corporations just no longer pretending they aren't evil.
yeah, accurate.
This trailer feels like it was shot, edited, and conceived to further anti-loot box legislation. Like I could see the dude sponsoring the anti-loot box bill in Congress right now, just playing this trailer. They're not gambling in the background. 2K showing kids pulling a slot machine lever. Like what the fuck?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Don't worry. That's not gambling. You're buying currency that you could use to gamble. It's different. There's a layer
Turning
removed.
to stone.
Okay, let's finish KZ off. Claptraps in Fortnite now.
What? I
Case-
should have read these fucking notes ahead of time.
KZ, if you could edit machine gun sounds in here.
But it was super obvious that this was eventually going to happen. Just them being like, okay, our big epic exclusive is now promoted directly in Fortnite.
I'm going on strike.
This fucking sucks.
Life.
I want a new industry to talk about.
Want to talk about wrestling?
No!
You want to talk about Overwatch?
Sure.
Overwatch is coming out on Switch October 18th, according to a leaked retail list. Something else from that retail list that wasn't revealed anywhere else on the internet came out today, so it's a real retail list. Also coming out that same day is Plants vs. Zombies Fortnite, that I forget the actual name of. Battle for Neighborville? I think that's what it's called.
That's actually worse
Is that
than.
like the successor to Garden Warfare?
Yeah.
All right.
But is it just a battle royale game?
So, real quick, if Overwatch is coming to the Switch, like the case that got leaked and stuff, then that makes the absolutely insane rumor and vague implication that Tracer for fucking Overwatch might end up in Smash.
I don't think that makes that more likely. I think it actually makes it less likely.
You think
What?
You think Blizzard?
guaranteed
no,
now.
1 second. You think Blizzard hasn't announced that they're releasing Overwatch just a month and 2 weeks ahead of it coming out on the Switch because
Nintendo is weird about when you can announce things on their platform.
Okay.
Like, Nintendo does this all the time. Nintendo clearly is very strict about when things are shown for the Switch.
But I don't. If that were the case, I'm like, well, wouldn't that just null out instead of being less likely? Wouldn't.
Well, I mean, I feel like that post was made by somebody who knew about this and was just like, oh, it's let me post this thing that totally implies it's Tracer because I know about this in the case.
Do you think they're doing a Nintendo Direct next month? We're recording this in
Probably.
August still.
Almost certainly.
Almost certainly.
Like if Overwatch comes out in October, if they don't announce that,
Will it be before or after Tokyo Game Show?
Before, when's Tokyo Game Show? Like the 14th?
Yeah, it's 2 weeks from now.
I would say around the 12th.
I don't know when it's going to be before or after, but I know it's going to be really close. Probably before. Probably.
Yeah,
It starts on Wednesday, September 11th. So I will say there will be a direct during Tokyo Game Show.
Yeah.
It ends on the 15th.
Never forget.
Like that week is definitely like totally prime.
Yeah, it's the week I die.
Because they haven't done anything since not Smash related since E3. So
I'd fucking lose my mind if it wasn't Tracer and it was in fact Farah.
if it was anybody but Tracer is fine. I don't know what it is about Tracer, but I just fucking don't want to look at her.
Something
That
about
glove.
something about how much they push her is really off-putting.
I just hate her design. Like, it's orange with a brown jacket. And I'm like, it's orange and blue, and I'm just like, go away.
Yeah, her other
go
skins
away.
are better.
I don't. Yeah, I mean, duh.
Yeah.
But I don't hate Tracer. I don't hate her as a character. I think I'll probably have more fun playing as her in Smash if she ends up there than in Overwatch, because that held true of Heroes of the Storm, where I enjoyed playing her more in that than in fucking Overwatch.
And in my brain, she just ends up Fox with a down B counter, and I'm like,
Nah, the down B recalls.
I don't know what Tracer does. I know she like blinks around, and that's it.
I'm just going to assume I'm gonna make my life easier from this day forth. Assume that if it is a shooter, Feel has never even seen it.
Well, I've seen Overwatch. I just don't know every character's fucking forward every 5 moves. I know that she has time powers and can blink around, and in a 2D fighter that turns into, oh, I do the time thing when you think you hit me.
Thank God he's elaborating, because I was going to be like, I feel like he dogs on Overwatch, a decent amount. Does he not know what it is?
I know what Overwatch is. Fucking Genji deflects things, and Bastion turns into a turret and makes everybody upset. And
he turns into a turret and says the N-word. That's upsetting everyone.
That's a sticker. He can just apply that.
No, the bird does that.
And then McCree says it's high noon, and then he gets like an aimbot that shoots everybody in the head.
I'd like to note I'm wearing an Overwatch shirt with the bird on it right now, so that joke get really close to home, KZ.
Oh no. Time to burn the shirt.
Yeah, time to burn
But
the
yes,
shirt.
I know what Overwatch is. I just don't know the minutia of all the characters.
Yeah. I'm just saying.
You can show me if you want, Dan. I own it. We want to play it on PC after this?
Nah, I'm good.
No, we got Astral Chain here.
I'm gonna stay goal oriented and play Astral Chain.
Okay, Telltale Games is being revived. Oh no, it actually isn't.
Okay, that's why I put revived in quotation marks.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah.
I know. You did better than every single gaming site other than Kotaku, KZ. So basically some evil millionaires bought Telltale's name and their properties.
Cool. Great.
They're like, hey, Telltale staff, you know those full-time positions where you were being abused but you got like benefits? What if we abused you for not benefits?
You can freelance.
And then a lot of sites reported this as them being nice, and I'm like, are you deranged?
Yes. One, a lot of these sites are in California, and everyone in California is deranged.
That's true. Truly the California of the West.
Sorry, Dylan.
I mean the Florida of the West. I get them
She's
confused
baby.
because they're so similar.
Another part of this is they're like, we like the episodic structure of these games, but we also like the idea of binge watching. So I don't know what the point of the episodic thing is anymore, because it sounds like they want to release them all at once.
Well, with Telltale, the plot was that it took them 6 months to make one episode.
But then, like,
So I don't like these games going to have a development time of 4 years?
I don't
May-
know. Well,
maybe
I
there's-
imagine if they're really doing what they're saying here, and where they're going to spend a lot of time working on new tools and other stuff, that potentially they could make games faster.
I'm gonna call my shot. They will make 1 or 2 things that will be Epic exclusives and will be bad, and then they will only sell Telltale's back catalog forever.
I have a counter gamer premonition.
Go ahead.
Wolf Among Us Season 2 Stadia exclusive. It's bad.
I have
Whoever will give them the most money, I think Epic is shelling out more at the moment.
I have an even bigger counter gamer premonition.
Is yours just nothing happens and they implode?
September 12th, Nintendo announces Tracer for Smash. I have no premonition here.
That is quite the megaton, actually. Very good. Will she have moves that just summon other teammates, or will she just have her own stuff?
She's going to have a teammate, a very poorly modeled teammate for her victory thing.
Oh,
Wouldn't it? Not for her.
wait.
No, wait a second. She's gonna have when she does her final smash, much like way too many characters, it's basically gonna cut to a movie. And then the movie's gonna have her high five like Winston. She's gonna high five him on the way to dropping the
Overwatch
bomb.
character will do something, and then they will patch it when they keep adding more Overwatch characters. Until by the time the game ends, in support for Smash Ultimate, her final smash will be 4 minutes long.
her fucking victory screen has the latest character at all times, and it's just the most awkward shit because everyone who plays is like, who the fuck is this?
Who? Who?
Who the fuck are you?
Here, I thought it was just gonna be they'll pick 5 other characters that are in that core clique that she is more associated with.
Yeah.
That she's been seen in like comics and shorts, and then they'll just throw the payload on all the enemies.
Her down taunt is making out with May.
But that's cheating. So she's Tracer's canceled. She's an adulterer.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It balances out because she's our first officially gay character in Smash.
No, that's worse.
No, it's fine. They're changing the canon. The old lore, they forgot about that. Like
God.
McCree's age.
That
It would be hilarious if they forgot about that, considering that they fucking milked that shit for months before and after.
I can't.
Okay, time for happy news.
Yeah.
I love happy news.
Yacht Club had their own Nintendo Direct event. It was called like the Yacht Club Direct or something similar. Maybe it was like Yacht Club Presents. They showed a new King of Cards trailer and said, this is the biggest of the one we've made. We used everything we learned making the others in it. It appears to have an insane amount of levels. And it also has a Triple Triad-esque deck building mini game. Like
What?
it shows deck creation, and then it's like a Triple Triad, or combined with like dominoes.
Yeah, that's fucking weird.
Shovel Knight might be the most incredible Kickstarter that will ever happen. Just because these stretch goal games are insane.
Yeah,
They made an incredible Mega Man plus DuckTales game. Then they made Plague of Shadows, which used the same levels but had insane mobility and stuff. Then they made Spectre of Torment, which is the best Ninja Gaiden game ever made, the best 2D one. And now they're making this, which is, I think it's supposed to be Wario Land, because your main thing is a shoulder tackle. Yeah, and money, and your main thing's a shoulder tackle.
I'm looking at the trailer. This looks incredible. The card minigame looks pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy. They also showed Shovel Knight Showdown, the fighting game that Smash like.
Which was
Mona,
also a fucking stretch goal that's getting bigger and bigger.
And Mona, the love interest from the Plague of Shadows campaign, Plague Knight's love interest, is going to be a playable character, which makes sense because you can't just have the one. So now they have 2, which makes it like around 20%. So I guess that's more acceptable than like 10. And the biggest one, Shovel Knight Dig got announced. It's a collaboration with Nitrome, who are a mobile dev. And also they used to make Flash games for Congregate.
Huh.
I remember using Congregate a lot.
It has like more like a Game Boy Advance, but much more fluidly animated art style.
Yeah, it looked like they were going for like a 16-bit look, and it looks very
better
nice.
Looked better than 16-bit, but yeah, it looks very nice.
It's like a generation jump. It feels like, which I.
It's
Don't
looked
like.
sort of like Shovel Knight combined with Downwell or Mr. Driller. It apparently has some kind of procedurally generated elements to it. I don't know if it's like a roguelike, but it does have some procedurally generated elements. It's not a mobile game. They confirmed it's for Switch. When it was first announced, I was like, this looks really good. Nitrome's working on it. Please don't be a mobile game.
Oh yeah, it's
Please
coming
be an
out for
actual
everything. 'Cause
video
I'm
game.
watching the trailer again on PlayStation.
Oh, because I didn't see like title things in the platform decisions on the trailer, so I didn't know.
Yeah.
I just saw that they said it'll be playable on Switch at the next thing.
Yeah,
also,
I imagine that's where they're getting most of their sales.
They showed 2 new bosses that are in this: Spore Knight, who is a little mushroom man, and Drill Knight, who looks incredibly raw. They also showed, I don't know if these are from, I think these are from the King Knight campaign, and they're also going to be costumes in the fighting game version, which are like Super Mega Man X versions of the Shovel Knight bosses. Like, let me post one of these.
I think that
Here's
those are
King
like you
Knights.
put your amiibo that you get on your Switch, and then you get the super powered version of the character
Look
to play
at
it.
this, Chad.
And here's Plague Knight with the big bottles pumping Mona's bathwater into his circulatory system at all times.
Also looks like Shovel Knight in Shovel Knight Dig is almost like Mario because he gets small when he gets hit.
Yeah, that was a weird thing to see in the trailer.
Yeah. This looks really appealing. If it is a roguelite, I think I'll still probably get it because the gameplay looks really strong.
Yeah, I think to see this art style on some of the Shovel Knight stuff, I'm excited to see what happens here. And it looks like there's a huge focus on digging.
Yeah.
Like, even more so than anything else. Like, I suspect the whole game is literally underground because the plot synopsis was about, Drill Knight just digs into your campsite and ruins it, so you chase him.
Yeah, I'm glad that it's not fully like down well, which my understanding of that one was just all vertically going down the whole time because,
Yeah, I think that was
initially
constantly falling.
Yeah, constantly like falling and stuff. This does have a lot of horizontal based stuff, and it's making use of the fact that you're playing as a dude with a shovel and you're just going deeper down into areas. Visually, it looks really nice. Gameplay wise, it looks like something that I definitely want to play right now, which I can't say for a lot of these types of games. Like the normal Shovel Knight stuff, I'm like, that looks cool. I'll play it eventually. This looked really appealing to me.
So I look forward to year 6 of Bloodstain's DLC plan, where it too has a triple triad mode.
Wouldn't that be something?
Okay,
Hopefully.
that it's important.
Mm-hmm. I actually have a bit of news that I didn't cover.
Ooh.
And no one else covered. The new trailer for Samurai Showdown, for some reason, just has a shamisen cover of DMX's Rough Riders.
What?
It is so
What?
it is so blatantly not licensed, but that's what it fucking is.
Is this like that? Is this a Grant Kirkhope like situation?
No, this is legit. This is
Okay.
like,
Is it like Grant Kirkhope Bottle's house where he stole pizza pasta?
yes.
Is it like every single song where he stole a gum commercial?
No,
Not every single song, just the main theme song.
no. The main theme song is the Teddy Bear's Picnic or whatever. Here, let me. I'm gonna post this in the Discord so that way you guys can see, because you have.
This is some hot news.
Oh yeah. So here's the time-stamped trailer. It's 32 seconds
Okay.
into the new Switch trailer for Samurai Showdown. Okay.
Yeah, fucking. Oh my god, damn.
It is the same fucking notes and everything.
I had to quickly check, is DMXinjail.com. He is not.
Oh, that's good. That's good. I'm glad
He goes
got
to
out-
jail
he
for
got
the
out in
stupidest
January.
shit.
Well, like, it's a good thing he's not in jail. Now he can sue SNK.
He went to jail a while back for fucking giving a
Hacked
false
up.
name at the emergency room. This man has like $1 million.
Yeah, he did like a tax evasion one recently. I was recording a Nuzlocke with PM, I think, last year. And it came to my attention, is DMXinjail.com existed. We checked and it said, no, he's not in jail. The next day, he got sentenced. It was fucking hilarious.
That's unreal. But yeah, I just thought that was really important news that everyone needed to know.
It was just as important as Claptrap being in Fortnite.
It's about the same tier.
This one is happier instead of making you want to kill yourself.
It's true. My bones don't feel weak after I find out that they covered Rough Riders with a fucking shamisen.
Look, Claptrap is just where he belongs now. I don't see the problem.
I have to reapply the gauze.
He's like a thing that rides on your shoulder, so there's gonna be some kind of emote of him just doing the default dance.
Well,
Well,
we're out of news, everyone.
yeah, we need to get the fuck out of news, everyone.
We need... Yeah, that's going to begin with you talking about what you've got going on.
I led this podcast with that. You know, we're doing a mega. If all things go well, we're doing a Sega CD live stream next Friday. Aside from that, we're hoping to get out an Astral Chain spoiler cast. But we have a hurricane headed straight for GigaBoots HQ as of this recording, and we have no idea what our plans are. So next week is the
Hurricane
most
Dorian.
tentative
It
shit
might be
ever.
getting buried.
Yeah, so we're not gonna promise anything. Also,
Yes, with good reason, because, you know.
we didn't even do what we wanted to this week. There's no fucking time. But what do you
here's
have coming
hoping
out?
it just blows left and doesn't go up.
Nah, it'll follow the East Coast of the United States, fucking everyone in countless states, and I'll be like, hey, I survived.
But you'll still lose because you'll be in Florida.
It's
Save the
true.
OLEDs.
It's a real threat. Anyway, what do you have coming out in the next week, KZ?
All right, so after this podcast finishes recording, I'm gonna leave and start recording Astral Chain so it can come out 12 hours from now.
Nice.
And then after I get enough done, I get to edit this podcast, and then I get to go back to Astral Chain so I beat it fast enough for a spoiler cast.
Nice. That sounds like a great time
It's
you've
gonna be
got set
This is
ahead.
going to be a very productive week for you, KZ, and I'm sure you'll die at the end of it.
Yeah, that's great. Any productive things you're doing, Mr. Phil?
I mean, lots of productive things. They just don't involve the internet.
My eye almost popped out.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce. Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots Podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and Big Think Dimension in the future. This GigaBoots video was brought to you by our magnanimous executive producers, Vincent Poverk, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Brendan O'Sullivan, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Shadow in the Darkness, Dryzart, and Red Blaze 27. And also these guys. Head on over to patreon.com/gigaboots today so you can try to be as cool as these people.